Hi, everybody. My name is Aaron Shea. Welcome to Habitat Now. I'm super honored today to be talking about a newer project we've here at Habitat called Habatat Limited. And what you may or may not know about it, I'll give you a little bit of background, is it's simply a limited service of works created by artists in the Habatat family. Each work is designed and made to order. And once orders are made, the works are created and then shipped to you directly. And what's important about this experience is the packaging is just as important as the piece. We want you to have a lot of great memories associated with opening up the artwork and enjoying it. Usually they're done in an edition of 20, some artist proofs. And I'm honored today to be joined by a few of the artists who have done this with me and have available limited on our website. Tim Tate, Michael Janis, Latchezar Boyadjiev, and John Miller are all here to join me. Thank him so much for arriving and taking the time to join us today. So thank you guys again. So I'm going to briefly take over your screen and show you some content and some short videos, and the artists are going to talk about their limiteds in their own style. It's very laid back today. If you have any questions, jump in anytime, say hello, all that good stuff. So let me get my presentation running. And you're going to see my daughter for a second, if I could get to my screen share, and I will create the presentation. Here we go, voila. So again, welcome to Habitat Now. Let me get my Zoom screen back up so I can see everybody. And there we are. And I have those not sharing yet, is it? There we go, share, okay. All right, do you see a big Habitat Now, everybody?
We do.
Okay, cool, so welcome. These are the sample pictures of the artists. You might have saw this in the newsletter. And I explained a little bit what Habatat Limited is, and we're super excited about it. We're trying to keep the price point the same for all the works in the limited. There's gonna be some variations by some future artists. We have artists like Steve Lynn and Shelly Allen and Jen Lazina, and Demetria is even talking about doing one offered through us, and they're designed to collect at a different price point, maybe be given as gifts. And it's really fun when there's a theme when they all go together, collecting them all, like we'll talk about with John Miller and Tim Tate, and probably Latchezar down the road. So big thank you to them, and I'm glad that you guys are here to join me. If you don't know where it is on our website, we're trying to figure out a great place to put it. It's just under, there's a little button called the hamburger on our website. Long story short, all our services are under there. So you can see that limited is at the bottom, and you can see that, or just go to habitat.com/limited. So I'll give you a quick brief story about each piece that we've had at limited and how it's going. Tim Tate and Michael Janis just released theirs on Friday, yesterday, and we had an amazing turnout. People have asked about the piece that's available, which is Dragonfly. They're doing 4 more in the series. All these are wall-mounted cast pieces celebrating nature. They're their nature studies. The first one is Dragonfly. Next will be a hummingbird. After that, a honeybee, and then butterflies. And it's a really fun experimental project, and it's getting a lot of demand. And even Ferd picked up this one for his personal collection, the founder of the gallery. Latchezar has joined us today. He's creating this series that is an homage to his optical work he created back in an earlier body of work than what he's known for now, and he'll elaborate more on that. John Miller, one of the first that we had, creates this beautiful burger. It is about 10 by, I don't know, maybe it's about 10 by 12 by 12 or something like that. It's quite an impressive, 6.5 by 12 by 10 by 10. It's quite an impressive piece. We've sold a lot of these. There's very few left, and they're just cartoon life, larger than life, and they're an absolute generally awesome to be around, and they bring a lot of attention when you get them in your home. He also released recently the fountain work to go along with the burger. These works come with a tray and some lunch lady gloves and some stickers. It's very, very fun. And this particular one is the second. It's about 13.5 inches tall. John will elaborate more. We'll watch a video of this burger. We've had a couple of them sell out already, so they're no longer available. One was Dean Allison's Dancers. This was a work created in homage of his 2 daughters, and he was working on the second as his wife was pregnant. Very different than his usual series, blown and cast work. Very, very peaceful dancer series, and is sold out. And the very first one we did was last year with Brent Key Young doing these chairs. They are 14 inches tall. They have sold out, and they were uniquely made, as all these are, and are very, very beautiful. They were quite substantial, and those who got them are extremely happy. Had a couple clients buy 2. Brent is on working towards another series in the future. So without further ado, I'll be showing a short video here. Make sure my audio is working, but I don't think there's any audio in this video. But you can see the upcoming series, or the available now series of Tim Tate and Michael Janis, their nature studies. This is kind of a pan-over to give you a glimpse of all the works in the series that they're going to come out with, pending it loads, which I'm hoping it does. So this would be Tim and Michael, you could join me too. This is the second one being released.
That's the second one, that kind of rose gold color and that kind of beautiful acid green on the hummingbird. This is the aqua, and that one has the honeybee, of course. All of them are kind of contrasting colors. Over here we have the one being released now, the Dragonfly, and that kind of beautiful amber with the sapphire dragonfly. And then last but not least, on the olive background, we have the red butterflies.
So they made all the prototypes.
Yeah.
What was that?
These are all cell phone cameras, so it's not the best quality images.
But this is an homage kind of into their interconnected series of large panels. These are actually about 14 by 14, so they're larger than the panels in the interconnected series. Yeah. And the interconnected series is absolutely amazing, but not everybody can fit that kind of scale. And so Tim and Michael came up with this idea for the body of work.
Right, exactly. We've been working on the, oh, well, Michael has a presentation, so I'm not going to step on that.
Right, let's let him do his presentation. Let me see what the next slide is on my PowerPoint, which I got to figure out how to control here. There it is. And yep, so now I'm going to kick the power off, stop sharing, and let Michael take over. So feel free, Michael, to take over your the screen.
Turn on the PowerPoint. So let me do that from the start, and there you go. So I'm just saying hi to everyone again. It's great to be here, Aaron. So I'm glad I could be seeing some of the people online. We're going to talk about the background and how we actually make the artwork in this PowerPoint. I mean, if you know Tim Tate and myself, we see ourselves as storytellers and working in glass. And Tim works in a lot of media. He works in videos. He works with the infinity mirrors. He works with a lot of cast elements. And I do drawings, but I also like to intermix with cast elements for a lot of my work. And we also like a lot of nature references within our work. And so that was something that as we were developing this particular series, we said, let's draw on that since there's a commonality between what Tim and I both do, and that we can just expand on that. Now,
we were making, oh, go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to say, we worked together for a long time. Each our own.
Then, oh my God.
Yeah, well, you don't look that different than you did in 2003. This is, you know, well, we've taught everywhere. We've taught this technique. And so when we were saying just a couple of years ago, we were saying we have a technique that we like to use. Why don't we actually join together and make artwork together that really expands on it? The piece that we had made was the piece Interconnections that was shown first at the Habatat Sofa pop-up. And we just pretty much saw this as like saying we're going to write a whole novel and each piece is a chapter. So that way we can really kind of break it apart and make it somewhat abstract, even though we're being very literal with images and allusions and metaphors with it. And this piece, which 6 feet wide by, 6 feet high by 9 feet wide, it was a really big piece, and not everyone can put that in their house.
It is a beautiful piece.
And what we're doing to make this artwork, and this is what we've been teaching around, is we're using the kilns to cast in, but we're doing open face casting. So it's a deep relief, bas relief. And what we're doing is we're taking plaster and sifting it into kilns. And then after you press it in, all of that imagery, it stays there.
Yeah, just dry plaster, no wet plaster.
Yeah, but it does record everything. And since it's such a fine material, this is like powder that's put in there. So unlike sand casting, you really get some very fine, sharp detail in there.
You can see a fingerprint on a hand in these.
Yeah, and sometimes you see fingers where you touched the plaster and didn't mean to, and we then have to trim that out. But another interesting thing is as it heats up, it hardens up in the kiln. And then as it cools down, you're able to brush it off and it comes right off the glass. So it is an interesting technique that we've been teaching. And
you can reuse the plaster forever.
Yeah. So as an artist, I like this technique a lot, and it just becomes such a strong relief in there. And Tim likes to take it to the next step because he likes to say, I want to be more expressive with it. So he actually rubs in a black paint to really highlight the detail. And then we started expanding on the storyline, saying, well, let's tell more ways. So we started working with different colored glasses to get different feelings across there. This is a piece that was shown in Sarasota this past spring before everything shut down.
It's in that nice aqua.
Yeah, and a really nice color. I mean, really, I don't think that a photograph does it justice for how nicely it reads, and it's such a soft color. But one of the things that we really liked doing was the way that each segment tells a story. So we just said, let's just focus on, it's like a short story is what we're going to do. And we're going to have an element that is mounted on top of the cast glass background to be a counterpoint in color. So what we're doing, so let's draw it on the ones that we really like a lot. So, you know, when you deal with dragonflies, you have all these concepts about, you know, agility and spring and all of these kind of things, that it's power, it's victory. I think that Native Americans say that it's associated with happiness and speed. The butterflies are things about, a lot of people associate that with souls that have been come back, and that it's also about change and hope and life. The bees are something that is also symbolic. I mean, it's all about community and helping one another, and also, again, concepts of life and community. And the hummingbird is also one, which I think is the next one we're offering, and that's in the rose gold, and that one's about life, and that things can change quickly, and that there's a certain happiness when you see it, and it's just a moment that you want to kind of capture on there.
In fact, Sharon Schomer knows this about me, but when I have hummingbirds visit me, I always think of people that I've lost in my life coming back for a visit. So Sharon and I share some of that.
Well, I think that it is a beautiful story and analogy. So it is something that when we talked about what images do we want to represent in there, those were the ones that we wanted to have. And we liked the idea that we would expand on a full range of colors. So you could say that this is a whole colorway that would go, that they're muted colors, but they work very well together.
They're all the same tone quality.
Yeah.
And they all match in size, and they give a great presentation. And like we said, the very first one, Dragonfly, has been quite popular.
And also just a nice size. It can be like in a little niche area. You can go, what I've shown here is a grouping of the 4, but you also could go linear. You could maybe just have a skinny space, maybe like Alan has a little narrow space in his office that maybe could handle that. So someplace like that where you say, I'd have no room for anything else. You got room for 14-inch square.
You know, the large walls were so popular, we have now done many of them, and we have 5 separate individual public artworks we're working on now, because that has taken over our space for a while. And so those huge scale pieces that we're doing, it's so nice just to work on something as intimate as these 14-inch squares.
Yeah, there is and it is a certain calm Zen quality when you work on them, because it's got the floral surround that lets you just kind of like start seeing about placement, that you're pressing it in. I like it more. I like a quiet Zen environment when I'm working. I like just to be able to just say I'm repeating that form over and over, making sure that there's no decay as it gets the glass loaded in. So that becomes a very calming thing when I work on it.
And they're not that heavy, Linda. I think they're a pound or so. I mean, they're not very heavy.
Yeah, they mount with a single cleat. Is that how it works?
Yeah, a light little.
Not with a cleat. It's that simple. Cleat on the wall.
Yeah, they're designed to be super easy. And do you have a picture of the box that the presentation comes in the presentation? No, okay.
You got that, Michael? I don't think we have that on this presentation, but it comes in a very slick, shiny box with a decal of the Dragonfly, and we have other surprises in the box for you.
That's great.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yeah.
I came in a little late, so I might have missed it. But the framing on these four, what are those flowers are made of? Are those,
Glass.
what are they made of?
Cast glass.
Oh, it is cast glass.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
All
that's
these
what I
tiles are
wanted to-
cast glass. Here we go.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. That's what I
In
wanted
fact,
to.
in fact, Michael, that there it is. Oh, no, there you can see right over there that middle one.
There's the middle
That's
one. Yeah.
those are circles. But if you go to the one before that, Michael, it's actually one of the floral ones with the for the bee. I think the one right before that. You can actually see. Oops. Right. No.
Oh.
Back two.
I assume that's well.
One
Well,
more.
I want to make sure. I
All
got
right.
that.
One more. Let him see it. Michael.
You're going too
No.
far back.
You're too far. Way too far back. The one with
Go
me
back one.
leaning over the kiln. That's the one I want to show them, so they can actually see me making one of the tiles.
There you go.
There,
Stop
you
there.
see me pressing that in the middle? That's where, for instance, I think the Dragonfly went. You see the mold around it with the flowers pressed into the plaster? We melt glass into that mold.
So everything you're seeing in front of you is glass, and then there's metal apparatuses designed for mounting.
The frame is steel.
Steel. Thank you. Well, this is great. If anybody has any questions, thank you for answering that question and asking it. And if anybody else any more, feel free. I think these are very, very fun, and they're beautiful and well thought out. And I'm glad that they're able to take this larger body of work and make an individual thought. And I'm looking forward to see where it goes from here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No problem. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to jump in here and also mention that we're doing these limiteds also exclusively with museums and institutions as well. And the reason why we're doing this is we feel there's a desire to create more awareness of glass in museums and institutions as a whole. And so we're partnering with the Fort Wayne Museum of Art, and Charles is here with us today to be able to offer an exclusive limited to their supporters, lack of a better term, exclusively. And it's designed to create awareness for the material of glass art, find new clients, people who might like art, might want to support the museum, and they can acquire one of these. And it supports the museum, the artist, and a little bit for the gallery. So it's something we're elaborating on. And the first one is Rick Beck. And Rick Beck, we're working with Charles on. They have the limited edition there. And have you seen it in person yet, Charles?
I have. It's really beautiful. It's terrific.
So could you tell, why don't you, if you wouldn't mind expanding a little bit of what drew you to the idea of doing the limited?
Well, the almost every museum, as everybody knows, is going to have some sort of a museum shop. We're a little different from most museums in that our museum shop sells almost no shoppy things, but we sell original art. And this limited series, we feel, is going to entice our audiences to want to start collecting glass. And we have a big Rick Beck, probably 6 feet tall, right there in the Rothschild atrium. So here's Rick on one scale, and here's Rick at a scale that you could take home, you know, right now. Paradigm Gallery is our shop, and the director of the Paradigm Gallery is terribly excited about this opportunity, and to work with Aaron and to work with Rick and to work with other artists who are going to be in this series.
It's great, and it's such a great opportunity on a larger scale. Charles is helping us with starting off to get the idea going and get other museums and artists excited about this. And can you imagine like reaching out to every single museum someday and finding out who likes art and then enticing them to come see glass and supporting our artists? So it's really an exciting adventure for Habatat and to support our artists while doing it. Okay, the next one, let me take over your screen again and talk about Latchezar. So Latchezar Boyadjiev's edition is called The Fourth Dimension. And it is a homage, as I said before, and we're going to watch a short video of his presentation, if I can get it to play. Thank you, Charles.
When did you open your first glass studio?
Well, after working for two and a half years, I started my studio. I opened my little studio in Oakland, California. That was 3 years after I actually started working for like in 1989.
How did you sell your first sculpture?
At that time, my studio was very small, and I was able only to do few sculptures, optical sculptures, and they were all done by grinding, polishing, and laminating together. And they were very small objects, whatever glass I could find. And the first time I went to a Glass Art Society conference in 1988 in Kent, Ohio, and I took two pieces with me, along with a lot of photographs that I was giving away. And one day a lady came to me and said, "Do you by any chance have that piece with you?" She was holding a photograph of my work, and I says, "Yes, I do. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's in the trunk of my car." So we went to the parking lot, and she and her husband came by. They were collectors, and they liked the piece, and they say, "How much do you want for it?" And that's the first time anybody asked me how much I want for it, because I never sold a piece before. So it was a hard decision. I said $950. And they said, "Okay, good." They wrote a check, gave me the check. I gave them the sculpture, and everybody was happy.
That's always great when you come with someone who's warm and ready to go. Okay, let's stop this down. Okay, great. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Latchezar, I'll give you the power. I can find my Zoom button. Here we go.
Share.
And I'm going to stop sharing really quick. Okay, you can jump in there.
Okay.
It's a great story.
Oops.
All right, we're looking at your screen with Zoom on it. Yep.
Yeah. Share. I'm trying. Goodness.
Are you on the wrong screen?
Okay, your screen sharing, it says, all right.
And we're looking at all your personal email now, so don't mind us.
Okay. All right, finally. Okay, got to it. Let me just remove all those things. Anyway, so you see me now, or?
We're looking at your face.
Out my face. All right. Maybe I should start with a little introduction with the what I wanted to.
Can you make
show
that?
You first.
Can you maximize that screen with the slides on it? We can see. Are you pressing the play button there? Maybe.
Let's say Zoom or play button.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should get it.
Yeah, yeah. So these are the first. So the whole idea of this pieces was I wanted to show you how I started working with glass. It was so cold working. It was just polishing, grinding, and doing composition and constructed artwork. That's how I started. That was the easiest way for me to start doing that. And I have been doing that for about 10 years, since from 1987 until 1997, I would say. And these pieces were, I probably within the period of 10 years, I did about maybe 500 pieces, I would say. And they were very, very well received, and that's got me started into my art career with doing glass. And here we are. What happened was I was, when the COVID started, everything shut down, we're all closed. And we couldn't go outside, we couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. So I felt kind of trapped, and just started thinking of the past, and decided to revisit my past and to express actually, it's a little bit of symbolic work, these cubes with the different colors. It is like each cube is in the spaces that we are in. We're all kind of in this little box, limited for now. And the colors represent a different personality and the people from the family, let's say, that you live with. We all kind of interact within this limitation. And it is very interesting when you see it in reality, this piece, and move around. it's really interesting to see how all those colors work together. Let's say there is blue on the bottom, yellow in the middle, and red on the top. And the blue and yellow create green, and the blue and the red create purple color. So it is a very interactive and small space that I really liked a lot. And I had fun with it, revisiting the past. So this is my limited edition. It's called 4 Dimensions because there is more than you can see, actually. You see more things than there are in reality. And so that is my start with the new work.
Thank you, Latchezar. And they're quite substantial at about 9 inches tall. And they are quite beautiful. And we've sold a good amount, and we have, I think, 10 left in our order of 20. And when as they're beautiful treasures on a shelf, especially a glass shelf, you can really explore Latchezar's style and history, approaching that body of work from his past. So thank you again, Latchezar, for being part of our limited in our talk today.
I just want to mention also as well that I'm trying to do a smaller piece also with cast glass. So
Right.
I will do a version of that piece that you see behind me. It's a big drawing, but I'm going to scale it down and do a smaller version of it, probably 12, 13, 14 inches, something in that size.
Very something to look forward to. Thank you, Latchezar.
Yeah.
He also loves the color blue, so expect it to be.
It is a blue.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Latchezar. Okay, so next, I'm taking over your screen again for the final artist in our presentation today. And we'd like to thank artist John Miller for being here and participating in this Zoom, talking about his series. John is here, and he's provided a short video about the process of making his burgers. So hopefully it will play. Let's see if we can get it to work. Great. Okay. So before we get to that, I'll show you that in a minute, but I'll stop sharing my screen and bring John on. John, you there?
I am.
It's so amazing how your process looks so much like really making food in real life.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a giant connection. Yeah, that guitar was pretty rough there. I think I'm going to have to record some music to put over that video. That was rough. It's okay though. As you can see in those shots and right where I am now, everything kind of crosses over in my life and what I make and how I make it and how I live. It's all one big ball rolling, you know. But thanks to Aaron and Habatat for setting this thing up. It's been a great ride. And of course, you guys know when my first limited was released, I think the 17th of March, and everything went and closed. So I lost my shop. And so I went in that day and made about 120 parts. And then I had to close down. I run the Illinois State University glass program in Normal, Illinois. So they shut the shop down. So that was an interesting way to begin this limited series. But since mid-August, I've been able to really get in there and start to make some work. And I think interacting with the gallery on a daily basis, really, and talking to the collectors has been fantastic. It's a different side than really going to a place like SOFA, which is such a fantastic experience, but it's so broad and it's so busy, and there's thousands of pieces, and this really streamlines everything. You can, I guess, talk more freely, and I just really enjoyed the whole process and everything about it.
John, I'll show the individual pieces now that I have the computer working here. So
Sure.
we have the first burger piece, which is called cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, bacon, and pickle. And we've done very well with these. And I mentioned before that these come with a plastic tray, lunch lady gives, stickers, and a signed certificate from the artist. And then the second release we did maybe a month ago, was John Miller's Fountain, the Coke drink. Can you tell us a little more about this cup, John?
Sure, sure. One of the greatest things for me about all of this work is, and we can talk about this anytime down the line, but all of these pieces, I can trace back a demonstration that I saw 5, 10, 20, 25, 30 years ago from an artist that I either was invited to my studio, or that I saw at Pilchuck or Pittsburgh Glass Center or wherever, and I could trace back that technique. So I have this toolbox that I can consistently pull from to create this work. So these ice cubes are all made by hand in the shop. The cup itself is an Italian process called incolmo, where a clear and a brown bubble are connected, one shot. And if you miss, you miss, and you throw it in the bucket. And then the straws are all basically a cane process where you heat up colored glass and pull it, but these are hollow. So they're actually straws. You can use them, and we've actually used them here at parties in this shop. So
that's great. And what's fun about these too is the setup for these pieces that have other works can be yours and yours alone. You can put ice in the cup, you can sprinkle ice in front of it. The straws has a slight angle to it as it sets in, so it's a really fun interactive piece. And when all these works get together, you have an amazing presentation, and we have an exclusive here. We just got the photo before this presentation of John Miller's next limited, which we haven't figured out a date for.
An hour ago we got it.
Yeah, an hour ago, right as we were talking, I threw it in the presentation. You can see the new series of John Miller's fries. And we haven't even talked much about this. We've been waiting for the picture for so long. But John, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, technique. Have you guys seen the Venetian series from Dale and Lino? This is where I learned this technique to curl glass, watching Lino make these parts for Dale's pieces. So the technique is exactly the same, except for the color is on the outside layer. So you get that nice skin of golden brown on the outside. The boxes are sheet metal that are folded, sandblasted, and then powder coated in white. And then I hand stripe all of these with vinyl stripes that are actually made down the street at the vinyl store. So it is just like Aaron mentioned earlier. It's very similar to processes in a fast food place. There's a consistent job that you have. I happen to do all of them except for some of the stuff that I have to job out to get them to look exactly the way that I want them. So. Yeah, the powder coating gives it a real hard surface on there, so they're scratch resistant. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And we're still working on number 4. We don't know what that's going to be, but hopefully it'll fit on this little tray here that we have.
Yeah, the tray's fun. These fries can be set up like the ice cubes too. They are painted on the back, so they could be laying down. The fries could be falling out. I've never gotten a tray of fries from a fast food restaurant in my life where all the fries are still in the bin. So.
Here's one of the little setups next to me without the stripes.
Oh yeah,
and it's on a plastic tray.
So you get the idea how the presentation comes together. And one of the great things about John's presentation is the Muskegon Museum of Art in Muskegon, Michigan has picked up John's edition to put on display, and the crowd comes and watches the fast food presentation grow over time. As of now, they have the burger and the fountain. They're getting ready for the fries, and they put up a big billboard in town talking about this and getting people excited about John Miller's work growing, and it's creating energy in Muskegon for people to come see the display grow in the museum. And it's an amazing partnership we have with Muskegon too, and they're excited about it, and I'm glad that John's part of it. And in the future, John has an exhibition plan there of his work down the road, and it's going to be exciting to build on that energy.
And the same thing, everybody. I talked about this in a lecture a few months ago with Aaron and Habatat. It is an all-encompassing show. We're going to have we're going to have hot rod cars lining the streets. We're going to have different groups of people. My whole idea with this is I love showing my work. It's a lot of fun. I get to meet a lot of people. I listen to the reactions. But the other great thing is that I try to approach it as an educational tool to bring in high school groups, the docents, the board, everybody, and create this huge event. And that's how all of this work is made. It's made with a team. It's just a really exciting endeavor every time for me.
Got a question from Dimitri. What's the size of the fries? Do you know off the top of your head,
Sure.
John?
The fries are, you know what? I probably have a tape measure somewhere around here. I believe that the box is 14 by 10.5. And then the fries, we had somebody who had limited height. So basically you can set these things up as low or as wide as you want to fit a specific space. So yeah, I mean, I guess maybe 15 at the tallest, and the depth is 4.5 inches.
Right, and then you can sprinkle the fries as you see fit. You need an extra half an inch. Take a fry out, put it down, tilt the whole thing on its side. This is a lot of
I'll
fun
grab
to be
the box
interactive.
right here.
That's great.
Here is a box.
There is a box. Oh, it's beautiful. Pre-stripe,
Inside.
very nice. You can even put your keys in there, right, John?
Right. Exactly.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you guys for the presentations today, for giving an idea. And this is exciting. We've had people recommend other clients to us about this limited offering because they want them to start collecting on their own basis and sharing in the community we all know and love. And it's very exciting, the fact that some have sold out, the fact that new artists are in the Habatat family are making things down the road, and that it's keeping some of our artists like John and Latchezar and Michael and Tim busy during this time. So I want to thank them again. If any of you have more questions, this would be the time. This is kind of a shorter one because we just want to make sure we had a touch this week. It's going to be exciting as the weeks go by. We have a couple amazing names lined up for October for our Zooms. So pay attention to your inbox and make sure to RSVP. And it's great seeing all of your faces. So this would be a time if anybody has any questions, and I thank you all for being here. Well, thank you guys. And if you guys have a great weekend. And if you have any questions about these, all these are available for purchase now on the Habatat website, or you can call me personally. I'm right here waiting for you. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll talk more soon. Thanks again.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Aaron. Great.
You're
Bye-bye.
most welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Quick
Hal.
question
Thanks.
for John Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have an order of French fries.
Oh, there you go.
The glass, was the artist you alluded to Frabel?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't Frabel. Which artist and which part of the talk did I reference?
I think you said something about the glass with the ice cubes in it.
No.
Okay. Because he's in Atlanta, Georgia, commercial glass studio, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But years ago, we bought a piece of his that was a clear glass with ice cubes and a straw in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it had one glass ice cube outside on the base. And I was just wondering if that's who you were referring to.
Yeah, these one of the nice things about this work is, I was talking to my assistant yesterday, is they continue to grow, and in strange ways. I think, well, maybe I'll add some pickles to this, right? It's really heavy conceptual stuff. But anyway, somebody will have we'll do a commission, and they'll say, I don't want any cheese on this, but I'd like some red onions. Can you make red onion? And I'd say, of course I can. And for me, it's just all funny. One of my favorite influences in life, well, two I'll reference. One is Klaus Oldenburg, and the other is Buster Keaton. So if you took those two together and combined them, that's kind of what I'm thinking about when I work. So.
Right.
We're waiting for the bagels and lox.
Oh, I made one.
I've seen your bagels. I've seen your donuts too, and coffee. It makes you hungry. That's for sure.
They're hysterical. And the bigger they get, the funnier they are. So.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, John, you're very imaginative.
Oh, thanks. It's as they say, the cliche saying, art is life.
Yeah, and quite a change of.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you could see where I am now, you wouldn't believe it. There's 5 different bodies of work all slammed in this studio. This is an old Oldsmobile dealership from 1926. So the space is beautiful, but I have hot rod cars in here, motorcycles, 5 different bodies of glasswork. I'm sitting in my hot shop right now. I have a glass studio right in front of me here in the storefront window. So it's a really wonderful place. It's kind of a little section of my brain that is, I guess that's what this would be. It's a little bit crazy, 6,000 square feet, but.
Yeah, John, Sharon says your next piece should be a Chicago style hot dog.
A what hot dog?
Chicago style hot dog.
Oh, I have it right here. There it is.
There it is. Very good.
And here's the thing, and you know, I mean, I work in a cartoon style, technically, but there is some realism there. I made this Chicago dog and I brought it to SOFA and I set it up, and every local that came in, I said, I want you to look at this and I want you to tell me, because I'm from Connecticut, this is New York style, just put some mustard on and that's it. So everybody said, fantastic, great job. It looks exactly the way it would be if I was going to order one today, but nobody picked up on the lack of celery salt. So what can you do?
That's funny, perfectionist. That's great. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for being here today. I'll see y'all next week. We have a great presentation for next Saturday. I hope y'all can make it. We'll see you guys then soon.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, everybody.